to Face Friday. Today, we are going to be trying out a British/European brand of makeup by a drugstore over there called Boots. It is the CYO Lifeproof Foundation. This is in the shade 103. The compact is hard plastic. It's pretty lightweight. The reason I wanted to try this, I've actually been wanting to try this for a while, but what made me kind of like expedite that process of trying it was that I heard this brand is being discontinued, and I don't know why, because so many people love this brand. Lots of YouTubers have mentioned how much they love the brand, specifically the foundations, powders, all that kind of stuff. So what I did is I ordered it on Walgreens.com, and I got it delivered to my local Walgreens because, just fun fact, if you get a package delivered to the Walgreens instead of delivered to your house, you don't have to pay shipping, which is like $5.99 approximately. So that would cut $6 off of your price, which is awesome, and it gets delivered within 2 days. So we're gonna jump in and see how this applies, how it wears, all that fun stuff, and see if it's really worth all the hype that it's gotten on YouTube. All right, guys. So I have my package here that I got delivered to Walgreens, and I'm going to open it on here. I have no idea if this is the right shade. I did the best I could with it being online, but yeah, we'll just have to see. So let me go ahead and crack into this. All right, so I broke into the package, and it actually looks like, just based on the packaging itself, the foundation in the packaging, that this shade is going to work. So we're gonna see. This is in the shade 103, by the way. I had to find it. I got 2 of them because apparently this foundation is being discontinued. The whole line is, and I really wanted to try it before it was. I've heard great reviews from this from the Taylor, Jam Beauty 89, really just a lot of people overall. So we're gonna see if this works. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take this one. And by the way, this packaging is extremely lightweight. Like, it's hard plastic, but like I feel like I could just like toss it over my shoulder. So I'm just gonna take a couple of pumps, and let's see here. Okay, that's it. It looks like it's probably gonna match all right. It's kind of similar to the consistency of my L'Oreal Fresh Wear foundation. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna take a Q-tip and just kind of spread this around on my palette, and we're just gonna do like we normally do, and go in with the brush on my right side of my face, and then a sponge on the left side of my face, see which method works better, and then whichever one works better, I'm gonna apply the rest of it to my face using that method. So I have it all mixed up, well, spread out is a better term, on my palette, and I'm just going to grab my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush and go in on the right side of my face. By the way, I already put primer on, and the primer I used was the e.l.f. Luminous Matte Primer. I really have been liking this, you guys. I think I even like it better than my L'Oreal Infallible Matte Primer. It's just really good. It smooths everything out, so yeah, really love that. So let's go in on the right side of my face. It does seem like this shade is just a tad light, but that's okay. We can always kind of warm it up with the bronzer that I love. So that is it applied, one layer. I do think it looks pretty good. It's definitely light medium coverage right now. I'm gonna have to go in with the second layer to really cover all of my scars and everything over here. So I'm guessing that on the other side where I just use my sponge, it's probably not going to cover very much, because one layer with just a brush on this side isn't like full coverage or anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some foundation on my finger and kind of just dot it on my face. By the way, in case anybody is wondering, CYO is actually owned by Boots, which is a drugstore over in Europe. It's like that's their brand. And I don't know why it's being discontinued. I actually kind of want to look up to see why, because it has a lot of followers, like in terms of like a lot of people love this brand. So I guess I don't really know why. This is definitely light coverage with just my sponge. I will have to say, even though it's light coverage, I do like the finish of it. I do think it looks really nice and like natural in terms of like, it doesn't look like I'm overly glowy, overly matte or anything like that. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more on my palette and go in with a brush all over my face, and then I'm going to see if I need to smooth it out with my sponge, and then I'm going to come back and tell you what I think after the initial application.
Follow white rabbit. I'm taking potions, call me Alice. Watch me grow taller.
So as you can see, I'm baking right now, and you saw in prior clips that I applied some concealer, and I wanted to hop on here before I fluffed off my bake and put on my eyebrows and stuff to kind of tell you what I think. So I do think this layers really well. You can kind of see, if you look really close, you can kind of see some little marks coming through, but it's not so significant that I feel like insecure about it or anything. I did go in just with 2 layers on my cheeks and then 1 layer on my forehead, and it looks really nice. I did smooth it over with the sponge just to kind of see, and like it looks good without smoothing over, but I do just like to do that because I think it really like sinks into your skin better. It kind of makes it look like it's more skin-like, I guess. So I do really like it. I do think this shade is a little bit light for me, actually. I think this would be a perfect shade, like maybe as like my winter shade or something, but like with a tan. It is a little bit light, so I'm going to have to go in with bronzer and really bronze it up and make it look a little bit warmer. I do like the way the concealer went over it. I used the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. This is really good. I tried this in my very first Face-Based Friday, I think. Well, my very first like application-based Face-Based Friday. And I really liked it, so I wanted to see how it applied over this, and it looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and put some eyebrows on, dust off this bake, and put on bronzer and stuff, and then I'm going to be back after that. So I've applied everything else. I put some bronzer on and it helped warm it up a little bit. I'm still a little pasty looking compared to my arm, but we're just going to kind of try to ignore that because it was really hard to kind of find my correct shade online. You know, everybody talks about how hard it is, and it really is, but I do think this would be a great shade for my winter shade. Let's take a look up close. It does look really good. I don't think on initial application that is my favorite. I still like my L'Oreal Fresh Wear and my Maybelline Superstay foundation more because it did take a lot to kind of build this up, but it does look really good on the skin. You can kind of see there. I like the way concealer applied over it. I mentioned that. I like the way the bronzer applied over it. I liked the way my Physicians Formula Mineral Wear powder was applied on top of it. I think it looks really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, do my check-ins, ask Thomas what he thinks, and we're just going to see how this foundation wears throughout the day. Okay, so we're here with Thomas.
Hey everyone.
And we want you to tell me, what do you think of my foundation today?
I like it. I think it looks really good.
Do you?
And, it's not clumpy or crusty or anything like that.
Would have my foundations been clumpy?
I don't know. It's good stuff.
You like it so far? I think it's a little light, but I think that the finish is nice.
I like it light.
Thank you. Alright.
But yeah, it looks good.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
But you always look good too.
Oh. You're sweet. Alright. Thank you. Say bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, here's check-in number 2. So this is what it's looking like. I think it looks really good. I actually am surprised at my upper lip staying because Thomas and I, we went out and threw a ball and played with his dog, and I thought it was going to be like melting off of my face because the one area it comes off, like foundation usually comes off really easily, is my upper lip, and it actually did not do too bad. It looks pretty good. He likes the way it looks. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's going to be a really good mixing foundation to kind of like darken the shade or lighten the shade of another foundation that I have. So we're going to see about that, and I'm going to check in with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, here's my final check-in. So let's talk about this foundation. It looks so good. I'm actually really surprised, and here's the reason why. So earlier in my last check-in, I mentioned that Thomas and I had been outside, sorry about my dog. Thomas and I were outside throwing the ball around with his dog, and I was sweating profusely. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna look like really sweaty and gross. But it actually did not. And then later we went on an intense walk, and by intense I mean I sweat a lot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating, this is gonna look so awful. And it didn't even crack on my upper lip, which is where it usually cracks, and like in between my eyebrows and like in the creases of my nose. Like, it looks so good. This is definitely a long wear, kind of sweat-proof foundation. I can't wait to get into it some more, mix it with some foundations, and if it's really, really good, I'm just going to order a bunch of this foundation, probably a couple of darker shades before it is discontinued, because I would love to have a long wear foundation and sweat-proof foundation for the summer, because if you guys are from the South, you understand that the heat and the humidity is intense down here, and we need like magical makeup to last. But yeah, I love this foundation. I cannot wait to wear it more, test it out more, and see how it does in even longer and sweatier situations. So yeah, if you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell down below, and consider subscribing if you haven't. I hope you guys loved this week's video selection, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you in Monday's video. Bye guys!